In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use math tables to improve your test performance. See the link in the description for a downloadable PDF of math table templates that you can use for practice. Common mistakes made on the Accuplacer arithmetic exam include mixing up the addition and multiplication operations, making errors in division by flipping the numbers, and making mistakes on rounding. And all three of these mistakes can be improved upon or eliminated by practicing your arithmetic using math tables. A math table is simply a grid where you put numbers on the left and on the bottom, and then in the corner you put the operator that you want to practice on. So this is an addition table, so I've got my plus sign in the corner. And then what you do is you take a number from the left, then the operator, and then the number on the bottom, and then where they intersect is where you're going to put your answer. So with the numbers circled, I have 2 plus 1, that equals 3, so I'm going to put my 3 in the box. Completed math tables for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division for numbers 1 through 12. With a math table, you can quickly practice and also see the relationship and patterns of how all of these numbers go together and how those particular operators function. So let's look at some examples of how you can use these tables not only for practice but also to help you answer your questions. This problem asks us, what is the value of 2.84 times 3.9? So this is a multiplication of decimal problem. And whenever you have multiplication of decimals, they are actually testing your knowledge base on decimals, multiplication, and addition. Use the addition and multiplication tables along with everything we know about decimals in order to help us solve this problem. So the first thing we notice when we look at our multiplication table is that if we multiply by an even number, we're always going to end up with an even answer. So the first thing you'd want to do is to look at your four options to say, can I eliminate any of these options? And unfortunately for this problem, all of these answers are even, so we wouldn't be able to eliminate it. But if we had some answers that ended in an odd number, those we could automatically cross out as being the wrong answer. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set this up to start our multiplication. And we know when we multiply decimals, we multiply them just like regular. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take that 4 times 9, and from our multiplication table we know we can take the 4 multiplied by the 9, and that's going to give me 36. So I carry that 3, drop that 6 down. Now the other thing I know with addition, when I'm doing my multiplication, when I go to multiply on that second row, I'm going to put a placeholder and then I'm going to start multiplying by that 3. So when I go to do my addition, I'm just going to have 6 plus nothing, which is going to give me a 6. So that tells me my final answer is going to end in a 6. So I'm going to look through my answers to see which ones end in a 6. And I see answer B ends in a 6 and answer D ends in a 6. So that tells me A and C are automatically not going to be the correct answer. Now the next thing I notice is that answer B and answer D, those are the exact same number. The only thing different is the placement of that decimal. So I can suppose that that's going to be my final answer, and then what they're testing me next is, do I know the rules for decimals? And the rules for decimals are I'm going to count the number of digits behind the decimal. I've got 2 from the first, 1 from the second, so that's 3 decimal places. So I'm going to check each of these answers, start at the right, move 3 decimal places, and look, there's my decimal on answer B. So that tells me answer B is going to be my correct answer. And we have been able to answer this problem without even doing all of the math, just knowing a few tricks and rules based on decimals, addition, and multiplication. And then the next step would be to go ahead and finish the problem just to verify that you did the answer correct. This problem asks us which of the following fractions is equal to 0.06 and then gives us 4 possible fractions as our answer. So we can use our knowledge of a division math table to help us narrow down our answers. We notice that the first 2 problems are divided by 6 and the second 2 are divided by 10. So let's go and look at what do those look like. So if I'm dividing by 6, that's going to be out of this column, and if I'm dividing by 10, I'm looking at that column. So I notice anytime that I'm dividing by 6, I'm going to have a really long number. It's either going to be and it's either going to end in a 7, a 3, or a 5, because I'm noticing the last digits on all of those. So that automatically tells me that answer A and answer B are likely to not be the answer because those are dividing by 6, and I can see that none of those end in a 6, so I'm not going to get a decimal with a 0.6. Now I'm going to look at my tens, and I see any time that I end in a 10 that it's just taking that number and moving the decimal over 1 place. So we actually have 6 divided by 10 is right here at 0.6. So that would tell me that C is 0.6, which is also not quite the answer, but it's pretty close, so we can assume that if I divide by 100 instead of dividing by 10, that's going to move that decimal over 1 more place, and I'm going to end up with my answer. And then the next thing to do would just be to do my long division in order to get my final answer. And we can see that our supposition was correct, and that's giving us the same answer as what we were able to notice on the chart. So that should give you some good examples of how to use math tables to practice your addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division to help improve your test performance and memory of how these different operators work. You can see the link in the description for a downloadable PDF that includes the math tables shown in this tutorial, as well as some blank grids where you can put any numbers and operators that you want. Remember that in addition to solving for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, you can also use these to help you with solving for your fractions, finding common denominators, multiples, and converting fractions to decimals. I hope you have found this video helpful. Be sure to like and subscribe to get the latest videos by Kaz Academy, and be sure to see the links in the description to get additional supports and resources, as well as the official study guides from Accuplacer. Best of luck to you on your Accuplacer arithmetic exam, and I'll see you at the next video.